look, you've gotten into stores, you've been able to penetrate the market, you've kind of cornered whatever you call this food sector. It started pizza, but it's not just pizza, it's just the general food category. And you've kind of created this healthy alternative. I've always loved your logo, by the way. The logo is very, very sharp. Real Good Food. So guys, if you just came in late, this is Bryan Freeman. He is the guy at Real Good Food. And he can answer your questions if you have questions about the Real Good Food company. You probably have seen their products in your local grocery store, in Costco, in Sam's Club. It's everywhere now. Dude, tell me from an entrepreneurial standpoint, how did that happen?
You know, block and tackle. Doesn't happen overnight. But what I would say is it's because of you and the community is why we're there today. So it'll probably shock you, but in the frozen food space, we have like the largest social media following of frozen food brands. We're bigger than Nestle and ConAgra and these huge companies. So it's really because of our community. You go to sit down with a retailer and show them this. It's like, that's a big statement because you have a community of folks that want to see the product on shelf. And so it's all because of you and our community that we've been able to do it. And that's why we're so blessed and so fortunate to be in this situation.
I remember when AJ wrote me an email, he's like, dude, we're getting into Walmart. This is before you were in any stores. You could only buy online at the time. He's like, Walmart, dude, push everybody to go to Walmart, go to Walmart. And I guess they did. I guess they went to Walmart, yes, and it proved the concept.
Yes. And, you know, again, Walmart's a great partner of ours. But fortunately, the first product we put on shelf worked. You know, had it not worked, game over, right? Yeah. And so everything's working. And so, you know, they're excited to you know, let us put new items on the shelf going forward.
Look, you prove concept with one widget. They're going to let you put other widgets on their shelf until the widget stops selling.
Yes, sir. And the other thing we're doing is we're bringing new consumers to their doors.
Yes.
I looked at some data last week that showed that over 90% of the people buying our breakfast sandwiches had not bought a frozen breakfast item in the prior 52 weeks. You go show that to your retail partners, they're like, thank you very much, real good. Keep it coming.
Look, you filled a part of the market that has ignored those of us that have been about carbohydrate restriction. I've been out here, yes, 18 years, Bryan, preaching the gospel of carbohydrate restriction. And I have begged like fast food companies and companies to make products that would cater to us. And, you know, sometimes they'll slap a keto label or slap a low carb label, which, by the way, I love your branding doesn't really talk about low carb, keto, right, or nothing. It's obvious if you look at the label. But I've begged, please give us good products. And they've given us crap products. And so here you come along, not only honoring the requests that people have, giving them the kinds of foods that they're looking for, but it's actually legit.
Yeah, and we're leading the charge. You know, our goal as we continue to grow is to change the food system. And I believe that will happen eventually. The big multinationals, they're seeing what we're doing. They're seeing, yes, our community. And we have an opportunity to just, you know, change frozen food, just change it and make it more nutrition. It's really simple, right? I mean, get rid of the sugar and carbohydrates and put some protein in it, you know? And so I think we're going to look back on this period 5-10 years from now, and you and I will be able to say with our community, hey, we made a difference. We had an impact, you know?
Well, look, I look at people like Mark Sisson, who created the Primal Kitchen brand and has some amazing avocado oil-based mayos and dressings. He kind of cornered the market on that. And then he was able to sell it to Kraft and really be careful with that. Hey, don't change the formulation. You can't change it, da-da-da-da-da. And so have you been approached by any bigger companies kind of saying, hey, we'd like to get a piece of that action? Or are you guys very confident that you can handle this by yourselves?
Well, absolutely. And that's why we went public. Is, you know, a small growing food company has to raise capital. And you really have two choices. You either raise private equity, private money, and that will lead you down a path of where you're going to end up selling to Kraft Heinz or somebody like that. Yeah. We didn't want to do that. That's why, so we went public. We're on the NASDAQ today under symbol RGF. That's how we raised the money. What does that mean? That means our management team, nothing changes. It's our company. It's our company and the shareholders' company now. And so we don't, somebody comes along and wants to buy, no, you want to buy us, buy some stock, right?
Yeah.
So we can control our own destiny. And that was very intentional. I have sold businesses in the past to large multinationals, and I've seen what happens with that integration.
Oh
Now,
yeah.
Primal's an exception. Okay.
They are.
I mean, that product is beautiful.
Because Mark was savvy. Mark
Yes.
was very savvy. He's like, don't F with my product.
Yep. And they haven't. And Mark he's done an amazing job. I love what he's doing. So
yes.
But going public gave us that opportunity that we don't have to worry about that happening. And our job is just continue to make delicious food, stay true to our brand, and we're going to keep going.
Yeah, we've seen several brands that started off in kind of the fringe market of low carb, paleo, primal, keto, that kind of thing. Epic bars, the little meat-based bars is an example. Quest bars is another one that the very first place they ever advertised was on my podcast. And now they're a global, $500 million brand. So like, it's those kinds of things that if you can control the factors and you can sell it, but I love your integrity here, by the way. You're like, hey, we got this. We trust our customers. We trust that our base of people that support us, they're going to go buy stock if they like what we do. And obviously it's working because you're still here. I have a question. Simply Trust says, where are your chickens coming from that you use?
Sure. So our chicken is coming from a variety of suppliers, the folks that are already on shelf. We obviously don't harvest the chickens. And so in this supply chain market, the reality is you have to buy from more than one supplier.
Yes.
So that's really, I don't have a clear answer on that. There are multiple suppliers, and these are folks that are producing chicken for everyone else as well.
I think the connotation is it from like an organic farm? And I wonder, I'm just throwing this out here in real time because that's what my brain does when I think of things. Could you make an organic chicken line of the Real Good Foods for people that would want that, even if it meant they had to charge $1 or $2, you had to charge $1 or $2 more to get it?
Yeah, we could, but that's not our mission and that's not our goal.
Okay.
What I don't want Real Good to become is a brand that is super expensive and doesn't have a very large impact. We think that, impacting carbohydrate, sugar, the way the material or the product is produced is more important than whether or not it came from an organic certified farmer. Now, I know what I just said is a little controversial, but we're not doing society any good if we end up at like 2-3 times the cost of regular product on shelf. Then we're only a small audience. We're not impacting obesity. We're not impacting people's true health conditions. And so to me, the way we see it is what the food does to your body is of most importance, not the fact that, now look, having said that, we're getting beautiful chicken. Right. It starts with your ingredients, but are we going to lean in with organic? No, because the cost differential is just too big. And I don't think it's worth it. I'd rather put the cost into the breading system. Like flour's very cheap. Sugar's very cheap. I've got to take the money and put it into breading systems that don't have these low cost grains that actually have protein. So that's kind of how we're approaching it.
So are you doing like an almond flour, coconut flour? What's kind of the breading raw ingredients? Yeah,
we're actually reached for chickpea flour, and we're using a very novel system to get it to bind to the chicken, which is actually part of it is a whey protein isolate that we're using.
Okay.
It's absolutely delicious. It crisps up, and when you eat it, it tastes like our target was Chick-fil-A. I think those Chick-fil-A nuggets are delicious.
Dude,
that's was
you need to have a Polynesian sauce that'll go along with it that'll be low sugar.
So we're doing that, right? We got orange sauce, low sugar, where we're using monk fruit and stevia and those sorts of natural sugar supplements. So it's pretty tasty.
Yes. R. Rodriguez, along those lines of a sweeter thing, he said, do you plan on having any dessert products down the line?
Of course, we'll go there, but nothing, in the next few months. And why will we go there? Again, everyday part, everything that I want to eat, that you want to eat, It's our job. Get rid of the sugar and make it delicious, taste like the real stuff. And
Yeah.
so we'll get there at some point.
SoCal Summer has a funny comment. The Costco packs were supposed to be for my meal prep. She's the one eating keto, but now my entire family is stealing them from me. So
Love hearing that. Thank you very much. Thank you.
that means that your target of making them taste like the real thing is working.
Yes,
so that's
sir.
great.
Yeah.
Dee Dee also brought up the sodium issue. So we talked about that earlier, Dee Dee, if you missed why the sodium is higher and that they are actively working on making it lower. So thank you for that comment. Again, somebody asking about the chicken. See, the sodium and the chicken, they're wanting to know those things. That's the big themes that I'm seeing. Yeah, look, guys, I think some of the concerns about the chicken is they inject them with hormones and all this kind of stuff. Look,
No. Yeah, we don't do that. We don't buy material. Where we draw the line is organic. Okay. We don't see the value there on that claim,
yeah.
but the quality of the protein is of course really important. And
Yes.
yeah.
Well, I had a guy leave a comment on one of my posts just yesterday as of the recording of this that said, if you eat a non-organic grass-fed, pasture-raised, blah, 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 then you might as well eat high carb. And I'm going, dude, you're killing me, dude. No, it's still fat and protein in that product. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. I think sometimes people get a little bit too orthorexic and think that things have to be absolutely perfect in order for them to be good. And I think using chicken as a base is much better than flour and sugar as a base.
For sure. But the good news is people are engaged and they're learning and they are, without that, we wouldn't exist. And I think people are getting smarter and smarter. I know I'm getting smarter every day.
Yeah.
We learn. You talked about the oils. I got to be honest. I wasn't even thinking about oils 2-3 years ago. So we're learning together. And this is a journey together. Okay. I might come back on 6 months from now and say, hey, Jimmy, we got to go organic, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a journey and we're going to do what our community tells us to do. And this is a two-way conversation for sure.
Look, my ear has been to the ground of what the consumer wants forever. I'm often asked to be a consultant with companies, and I happily help any company that calls me. But yeah, they're like, okay, what like with the Quest company, when they first came out, they used sucralose, Splenda,
right?
Products.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, that's old. That's the old way. You need to put stevia, erythritol blend in there. And this is like over 10 years ago. They're like, really? I was like, dude, yes, listen to me. I hear from people every day. And so this canola oil thing, this is something that's come on pretty strong. A lot of people like Dr. Kate Shanahan and others have been sounding the alarm that those oils kind of get in your body and they don't leave your body for a while. And they're highly inflammatory and toxic. So it's good that you get to hear. And of course, you know how to find me. Reach out anytime if you want. What's the latest, Jimmy? Help me out.
For sure.
Did you go keto and thought you had to give up wine? Well, let me introduce you to Dry Farm Wines. It is the world's first sugar-free alcohol that is lower than your typical wines, organic, made at local farms that do it the right way. Most of the wines that you buy are from 3 really big companies, loaded with additives and preservatives, so many dozens of those kinds of things. You don't want all that junk in your wine. So go to dryfarmwines.com/Jimmy and they will ship you these wines. And just because you listen to this podcast, Dry Farm Wines is going to give you a bottle in your first order for just 1 cent. Go to dryfarmwines.com/Jimmy and you will get your bottle of wine for just 1 singular penny. Go check them out. Dry Farm Wines, you guys. It's wine o'clock somewhere. Let's go get some wine. Sean says, I've seen some recipes using your products added to other healthy foods. Do you have any recipe suggestions on the realgoodfoods.com website?
Yeah, for sure. We also have Real Good Foods fam. Our team is constantly collabing with other companies that are making a difference. So, just cruise around that way and you see stuff going on almost daily. There's a lot of sauces. There's a lot of cool stuff available out there,